Hello, sweet souls. I'm Dani Palacio, and I'm welcoming you to Awaking Moment podcast. It's my pleasure to be here, and I look forward to sharing some of the ideas and thoughts that I have around this episode. And I want to invite you to maybe grab a pen and a piece of paper or use your notes app in your iPhone or something, because I'm hoping to spark some ideas. And I think the ideas will last longer if you jot down something that might resonate. And I haven't asked you to do that before. So if you're new, I don't always do this. And for those that are returning, thank you so much for the continued support and love. I appreciate it. Last year, I asked a question about how is your heart? Instead of saying, how are you? Or how's it going? You change it to how is your heart? I don't know if anybody's asked you that recently, and I wanted to take the opportunity to ask you, how is your heart? My heart, I'll share, is recalibrating. That's what's happening. There's been so much change, and my heart is tender and vulnerable right now. And this heart is stronger. This heart is able to have greater capacity to love, to find connection, to find sweetness. How is my heart? It's also very mixed emotions. I have some grief going on, and so there are quite a few moments in my day where I am sad, and that sadness is around grief. And not just a person, but a place, and even the loss of who my old self was. So even when you have spiritual growth, or when you have an awareness, and you choose to change, there can be grief and sadness in that, because you're letting go of someone that you've been with yourself. So that's how my heart is. And if you'd love to share how your heart is, I welcome that. You can send me a text. You can send me a message on any of the social platforms. So that's where I wanted to start. Now I want to kind of shift into a bigger question of how can you take care of yourself during the holidays? Did you know it's November? It's crazy to me to realize how fast the year has gone by. And I know I lived every day and every moment, and it's November. So in the United States, at the end of the month, we're going to have Thanksgiving. And from what I've read in the news, people are flying. People are visiting their family, friends, going with family and friends to a new location. It's the largest, actually, expected travel in the period of time. And so that made me start thinking, like, so that means you're either going to be hosting, or you're going to be going somewhere, or you're going to be choosing to stay mellow and be by yourself or be with a few friends. All of those experiences requires a little intentional setup for you to be successful in truly taking care of yourself. So if you're traveling, honor your food choices, honor your daily routine as much as possible. And if that means bringing your own snacks, or if that means preparing to bring something with you, so that when you're away, you can continue to do what you normally do. Now, I've always been the type of person that thinks, oh, I'll just blend in with whatever environment I'm going into. That worked for a while, because I used to like to be a chameleon. I used to like be able to change and shift and meet people where they are. I don't so much like that anymore. And so I want to encourage you to stop and think, if I'm traveling over the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, even New Year's, how can I take care of myself, and what do I need to prepare? What do I need to bring with me? And then I want to talk about family meals, because I'm sure when you're at your house or your apartment or wherever you live, and you're getting ready for dinner, it can be whatever you want it to be, because it's your meal, or someone in your family has said, I'm going to make this for our family dinner or family meal. Thanksgiving, we'll use that as an example, often is turkey. Sometimes it's ham, and it's got a lot of sides, and everything from potatoes to stuffing to salads and green beans. And some of that can really work for people, and some of it doesn't. So I want you to honor your food choices. What food makes you feel good? What food would add to your happy Thanksgiving or your Merry Christmas or whatever holiday you're going to be celebrating, because it's important for you to show up. And you can show up through food. You can either bring something or you can make it there. And I want to encourage you to do that because it is a collective gathering. And so here comes where I think the scary part could be, is having the communication with a family member. Maybe you're going to grandma's, maybe you're going back to your mom's, maybe you're going to your mother-in-law's, maybe you're going to some aunt's house or something like that, right? You need to communicate. You need to say what you need, and that you would really not only love to make whatever it is, but that it's a requirement for you to be seen and nourished. And it's worth it. That's what I'm going to say. It's totally worth it. So again, and if you're staying at home and it's just going to be you and maybe one or two other people, or you and your animal, think about what would make you feel good that day. If you're one of the types of people that get sad during the holidays for any of the various reasons that you could get sad, take good care of yourself. And that's not just through food. So the other part is, what's your daily routine? At home, what's your routine? Do you get up and do you walk on the treadmill? Do you get up and walk outside? Do you get up and do yoga or do stretching or qigong or read or body scan? Or if you have a routine, a special something that you do, how can you continue to do that when you're traveling or when someone comes over? It's easier to do when it's in the routine of your life. And so think about that. Think about how you can do this, right? Because so often, I know for me, and maybe I don't think I'm unique in this way, but so often I just go with the flow. Yeah, I wanted you to start to ponder what that could be. And I want to talk a little bit more about things that you can prep. And so I listen to music most of the day, actually, and I really enjoy calming music. I love to listen to frequencies to help support my body, support my mind, keep my heart open. And so make a playlist. I think any player now you can make a playlist and you can put it on your phone. And some things, like on YouTube, you can save videos, you can save music on YouTube. And so do that. It will help bring normalcy back, and it will help remind you that you're still the number one priority, because you are. Everyone is the number one priority for them, for their lives. And we have a lot of social weirdness around that because it means that somebody else isn't a priority. That's not true. Just because you're the number one priority of your life, it doesn't mean that your partner, your son, your daughter, your best friend isn't a priority. Your dog, your cat, of course they're priorities. You love them and they're part of your life. So if you're thinking, like, if I make myself the number one priority, well then no one will have, whatever, finish that sentence, or what that fear is. You're going to be better for it. Promise. Really, truly. What else can I talk about? In the moment, and this is kind of nervous system, getting back into parasympathetic nervous systems where you are calm, where your cortisol doesn't spike. There's some easy things to do. You can take deep breaths. So breathing in for a count of 5 or 6 and holding it for a count of 4, and then breathing out for a count of 6 to 8, maybe even 10. And maybe even holding that for a count of 1 to 2. Maybe that's too complicated. So maybe it's just a big deep breath in through the nose and a big exhale through the mouth. That cycle, that rhythm of the breath can indicate to your body, to the vagus nerve, to your brain, to calm down and to go back into a restful, peaceful state. There's other ways to do that. You can go for a walk if that's possible. You can do, I forget the name of them, but when you do, I don't know if you've ever done this, but where you cross your hands and you put your hands on your chest and you tap on your chest, like you do the left and then you do the right and then you do the left and then you do the right and you do the left. And when you're doing that back and forth movement, it's cross body and it's a rhythm. And so you want to do it a slow rhythm, intentional, and it will calm you down. It's almost like giving yourself Your own hug, that's another thing. I know it seems silly, but it actually works too. So giving yourself a small little hug where you wrap your hands around your arms and your shoulders maybe, and you do a little squeeze, that actually helps. And if you need to, step out and take a moment outside of whatever it is that's causing you to have an excited fight flight kind of experience. So if you need it, you have my permission to take care of yourself, and I encourage you to do that. And the other thing is that the time has changed, right? So in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly in the United States, we fell back an hour, and darker days. It's going to get darker and darker and darker until winter solstice, which is often on December 20th or 21st, sometimes the 22nd, but right around that time. And then the light returns and we get lighter and lighter and lighter. So we still have a good 6-7 weeks of increasingly darker days, and that's actual. And darker days can bring darker thoughts. We are still in fall. Winter doesn't start until winter solstice in December. So we are still gathering. We are still getting ourselves prepared for winter. And our seasons don't really show that way anymore. Like, I know some states in the Midwest are expecting some snow. In Southern California, Arizona are experiencing 80, 85-degree days. So no matter what the weather is, I mean, here in Oregon, it's rain, 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 big dark clouds. But that's not really what I'm talking about. What I'm really talking about is the darker days. And some people get anxious in the dark. And so soothing yourself when you're with family, when you're on a holiday or you're traveling or you're having groups of people come over, remind yourself that there's a lot going on. And this is just one of the many things that need balance. And so I encourage you to slow down. Yeah, just slow down. You don't have to go fast. And I know our world says you do. The faster, the better. You can get more done. You can be more successful. You can be more productive. And then people will praise you for that. And then that means you're a good person. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. So I wish you peaceful moments. I wish you unconditional love of self. Honestly, I wish that you could see yourself through my eyes or someone else's eyes that truly reflects your beauty and your grace and your brilliance and your lovableness. If that's a word, I don't think it is, but I liked it. So again, I'm always wishing you the very best. And if you ever need a little pick me up, put on one of my podcasts. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I, again, thank you for being you, because the world needs you. And remember, you can ask, how is my heart today? And listen for the answer. So I wish you wonderfulness. Take care.